All right, guys, welcome back to the Jake for the State podcast. And of course, we are continuing our series of interviewing candidates leading up to the runoff, August 25th. It's just a few days away. And so very important, as a reminder at the first of the show, a reminder to you to show up and vote and exercise your civic duty and your responsibility as citizens of Oklahoma. We want to make sure your voice is heard. You want to make sure your voice is heard, and we get the right people in to represent you. And so I have some very special guests today. Me and my wife, my first special guest, we're going to sit down with the Mazzeis and have just some real talk. There's been so much political talk. Of course, I joined Mike on the campaign trail for a year and heard all of the positions. I want to know about the personal stuff, and I'm sure you do too. We want to get to know the Mazzeis on a whole new level, so stay tuned.
Your health journey is unique, and it starts with you. It's time to truly experience life without limits holding you back. Overcome all fear of pain, fear of limitation, and say goodbye to chronic pain. Move like never before with freedom and strength. See, true health isn't just for you, it's for your entire family, thriving together. Start your journey today at Motus Health, where we help you thrive, not just survive. Visit motushealth.com for more info.
This is the Jake for the State podcast, and this is the call for every red-blooded, God-fearing, liberty-loving patriot to prepare yourself, take your position, stand your ground, and advance the cause of freedom. Let's go.
All right, guys, welcome back. Here with my beautiful bride, Nicole. Say hello.
Hello.
And my very special guest, Noel Mazzei. Hello, Noel.
Hello.
And she brought a friend along, Mike. So
yeah, this is my friend.
No, of course, Mike Mazzei, gubernatorial candidate and front runner of this race. According to the polls I'm looking at, looks like it's looking good for you. I'm hoping so. August 25th, we're just a few days away from the runoff. Before we dive into the race and the campaign, first I just want to welcome you guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having us. We love spending time with the Merricks.
We do.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, it's been great to get to know you guys. Of course, we spent a whole year together. It's felt like, every weekend we were at a different forum, different event, and you guys were there at most of them with us. And so it's been great to get to know you. Of course, now in a little different feel as not a opponent. I hate that word. I don't consider myself an opponent. But now on the other side of that, we get to watch you and support you and help push you across the finish line. So
kind of you. Very gracious.
Yes,
it's love to have you involved in policy discussions with our team as well. A lot of people know of your passion for DHS reform, and it's so exciting to see you working with our working group and helping lead some of our ideas for making that a better agency.
Yes.
I believe it needs a lot of work, and so I was happy to accept that offer to be part of that working group to talk about just reform ideas. And to be clear, for all the listening audience, there's been no offer of a position, no payments made or anything like that.
I'm paying off our house or anything.
We just are both interested in the same thing, and it's making Oklahoma better.
Amen.
Protecting families, protecting children. So I'll join anybody on that endeavor. And so I'm happy to join you and your team on this. Noel, it's been such a delight getting to know you. And I'm interested in your perspective on this whole campaign thing. Of course,
it's so much fun.
You're not, it's nothing new to you, of course. I mean, you were with Mike at his side for 12 years in the Senate. and a very tumultuous 12 years. So we want to dig into that and what that was like, especially with his car wreck and the resulting injuries and things like that. But I'm gonna bounce past to my wife to open it up first and let you lead off with the first question.
Okay. Well, I first want to say I have had the great honor to sit with Noel and just hear her heart. And I will say what made me first love you is your heart for prayer and your heart for people. And it's genuine. And so thank you for that. I think we definitely share that same heart and that same...
Right back at you, sister.
Thank you. So I love today. I got to be a guest at one of her meetings today. Right. And she talked about, as her and her sister-in-law, Brooke, went across the state, how they went into counties and they were praying for the people of Oklahoma and for lives to be changed and brought into the kingdom. And man, did that sound familiar. I think we literally, our campaign was a prayer assignment for us, and literally everywhere our foot tread.
Right.
Literally.
I know.
Everywhere Jake's foot tread.
I know.
All down Route 66.
Yeah, we prayed for the people of Oklahoma and for restoration in the land and for unity within denominations and cultures. And so you just have a beautiful heart in that. And so thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So my first question for you is, how did the two of you meet? Because Jake and I, our story is fun. We met on a blind date and we're married 6 months later.
Right.
So I love to hear stories of how couples met.
Uh-oh.
Which bar was it?
If it was in a bar, just pretend it was a church.
There's a little snowball fight involved.
Do you want me to share
Yeah, I think they want to hear from you.
Okay, so Mike and I met at Oral Roberts University in 1989. I was a senior, and there was a tremendous snowstorm on a Sunday night, and all classes were canceled. And so all the students go up to these hills to sled, and I am running across the top of 2 hills to meet my friends. And at the bottom of the hill are these 3 guys that I know really well because I've been in leadership with them. And there's the new guy.
Or you graduates.
Yeah. So, and then there's this new guy that's kind of hanging out with these 4 guys that I know. And I have been spying on the new guy a little bit. At the AC, I'd go and run 5 miles just to blow off some energy. And I'd noticed this new guy playing basketball with the basketball players from ORU, and he was pretty good. And I was like,
By pretty good, you mean pretty cute?
Well, okay. He was a good basketball player, which I love athletic, man. I do. You know, if they're athletic, I like that. And he was a really good ball player. But I thought, hey, you know, he's not that bad looking either. He was nice and tall. He had great legs. He was a good basketball player. Did I say that? He was a good basketball player. And then...
How about those legs?
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, and that was about kind of all I noticed of him because he was only up at the AC. I never really saw him around on campus. So anyway, I'm running across... Back to the snow story. I'm running across the top of the hills, and these 4 guys are coming up the hill, and they say, "Hey, there's Noel. Let's get her." And I'm like, "Oh dear, I think I'm going to run." And so I start running, and I'm able to outmaneuver 3 of them, except the new guy catches me, and he throws me down in the snow. And I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And he starts like shoveling snow in my face, like just shoveling it to the point where I'm like kind of choking. Like
We were all kind of in this snow fight mentality that night.
Yes. So, and I'm choking, and he recognizes, oh my gosh, that's a little rough. So he picks me straight up, and he's like dusting the snow off my coat now, and he's embarrassed. And I start to laugh because I realize, hey, it's the new guy. And I said, well, hello there to you too. And I ran up the hill, and he went, his way with his friends. Well, 2 hours later, I get this phone call in my dorm room, and it's Mike. And he said, well, Hi, Noel. This is Mike Mazzei, and I know you don't know me very well, but I'm just calling to apologize for throwing you down in the snow. And I'm laughing, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. But anyway, that just led to a really nice
Talked for 2 hours.
conversation.
Really wonderful conversation.
And
I finagled a date not too long
how many
after
sons
that.
do you have?
2 sons? We have 2
so
sons.
I'm curious if this was advice you passed down to them. Hey,
No,
guys, the way
no.
you meet a girl,
Probably
throw them down.
not the best strategy, but
It worked out for him.
I had a guy that flirted with me one time and he threw salt in my eyes.
Oh, no.
Needless to say, we didn't talk after that.
Yeah, no, I would.
So I wanted to say, how
glad it
old
worked
were you?
out.
Because that was high school. This was
That was-
college.
I was my first year out of college. I was kind of excited that we had this massive snowstorm, Nicole, and I wasn't going to be able to go to work the next day. So we just went over to ORU and started throwing snowballs at people and chasing people with the snow. And she's walking away after I've tackled her in the snow, and I'm thinking, what did I just do? That's not really like me. Oh, no.
And it isn't like him. But it was
So
funny.
yeah, I knew I needed to call and apologize. What I didn't know is that we would talk for 2 hours, and she was fascinating.
Right.
Wow. Wow. And how long have you been married now?
36 years.
36 years.
Yes,
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah.
So we got a glimpse of what you did for fun before marriage. And
Right.
what does your off time look like now?
You know, it's a lot slower because I'm 60 and he's 61, so he doesn't throw me down anymore. But we do have coffee. We love coffee time together. We do movies together. Sometimes we've read different books together.
Love hiking.
We do. We love hiking and family vacations. If we can get our kids to go on a vacation with us, that's just something we really...
We try to bribe them.
Yeah, we do bribe them.
Yeah. Well, as long as my parents pay, I'm always a yes.
I know. That's what we found out, too, about our own children is most of the time they're going to be a yes if we pay.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yep.
Well, it's obviously downtime is a rare thing these days, huh? And so
Right.
the campaign trail is arduous and it requires your full attention almost 24/7.
Right.
So talk to me just a little bit. And sorry, I kind of jump into
That's okay.
interview mode. And so just,
I'll cut
I'm
you
not
off.
worried because she'll just cut me off if she needs to. But what does it look like right now? Just on the campaign trail, Noel? I mean, I know what it's like for me as a candidate, what it's probably like for Mike. I mean,
Right.
doing the forums, fielding the questions, engaging with the people. But, I was always very aware of Nicole. She was always right there at my right hand, just like you are with Mike. And so tell us just from you, from a transparent place, what is it like for you on this campaign trail the last year?
The last year, I think at first it was okay. Do you want me to start with the beginning of the story?
Yeah. We can make this a long form podcast. Go for it.
At the beginning, I was telling the ladies at the luncheon this too, that he took me on a wonderful vacation to celebrate, he said, the fact that we had 5 kids, we got them through college, we paid for it, and he took me on this vacation to celebrate that fact. And we're in Hawaii and we're walking on the beach and it's romantic, it's sweet. And he's like, isn't this great? And I'm like, yeah, it's so beautiful. And then he said to me, and I think I need to run for governor. And I looked at him and I was like, that is a terrible idea. And I'm going to bury you alive in the backyard and I'm going to feed you through a tube in the ground.
We had a good start.
Right. But anyway, I knew that it had been in his heart since the time that we started dating. He had told me, I want to be in politics, and I do believe that I can make a difference in people's lives, in their quality of lives. And I love people, and he does. He cares for people deeply. So I said, okay, fine. You start with your campaign, and I'll come in later when it gets to be more intense. And as it became more and more intense, it got really stressful. Was it stressful for you too at points?
No, I think because I had personal stress going on with our daughter.
Okay.
the campaign was kind of an outlet for me to get my attention on something else. My stress was when he first told me he the Lord was calling him into politics.
Right.
I had a panic attack and literally had my head between my legs. I've never done that before or since.
Was this when he wanted to run for the Senate?
When he ran for Congress.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Congress.
how does this make sense with ministry? Like, no, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about it again. And time comes around, and I woke up in the middle of the night with this, actually woke up out of a dead sleep praying with this fear that we had missed the deadline. So the next day, I don't say anything to him. I'm like, do we miss the deadline? I was just curious. Were you still praying about that? Because it was a big fat no for me. Because I'm not a politician's wife. Like I said to you before we started this interview, I say the wrong things and people are like, Nicole needs to learn to shut her mouth. So I'm not the one you want to put up in front of people. I don't know anything about politics. I mean, literally third grade was when I was taking my daughter through the third grade was the first time I ever read the Constitution. So, I mean, here I was in my late 40s reading the Constitution for the first time. That's really sad as an American citizen. But I don't think I'm alone in that.
No, I don't think you are.
Yeah, so that's when it hit me. But here's what changed my heart in it.
Right.
I came to the Lord and I said, I knew he was calling us to do this because I had a strong word from the Lord when we were in prayer. And I said, I will do it because I trust you and I know you're faithful, but you're going to have to give me a heart for this because I do not want to do it. And I'm the kind of person, if my heart's not in it, I'm not doing it.
I know.
And so he has changed my heart. And I see that in you, Noel.
Yeah.
I see that in you and in conversations we have and in understanding the places that probably most wives have been when their husbands say they're going to run for office.
Right.
No, you're not. I mean, I didn't go as far as saying I'll bury you in the backyard, but
we joke about that. That's our joke.
It's hysterical. I wish I'd have thought about
the shovel's in the backyard.
It's still an option. Huh?
It's on the porch.
But yeah, it can be very overwhelming until you really hear God's heart in it. And
That's
100% see that is the truth for you.
Yes, and it did happen, but it didn't happen quickly. It took Dan Mazzei coming on to the campaign to be the campaign manager. And
my brother.
Right. And, you know, the other thing he told me on the beach in Hawaii is by the way, I'm only at 2% name recognition. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to be a hard hurdle to get over. Yeah. But when Dan Mazzei came on the campaign, he said, I'm going to lay this campaign out for you because we're a praying family and we pray over everything. And it's not just the Mike Mazzei family, it's the Dan Mazzei family. And I like to think about it like a tribe, like the tribe of Judah. So anyway, he said, I'm going to lay it out for you. We're at 2% name recognition. And he said, now the whole campaign is going to go on a timeline to the primary. And we're going to divide it into 3 stages. And in this first stage, we're going to try to get to, I think it was 10 or 11 in the polls for name recognition. And we want to measure how Mike's plan is resonating with the people of Oklahoma. So he said, he kind of put it out here, the plan's up here, and then he said, this is the budget. And we're going to spend this money, we're going to put his plan up on TV, and then we're going to measure. And we're going to pray about it. We're going to commit it to the Lord wholeheartedly. And if we make this kind of like a fleece, if we make this number, then we're going to continue on into phase 2. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. I can pray over this first phase of the campaign. And he said, we have to make it to 11%. And I thought in my heart, I'm going to pray wholeheartedly for that, but I doubt we'll make it. You know, which is, again, that was probably not real good, but I didn't think we could, you know? Well, they did that. It comes back and we've made it to that point. He said, okay, here's phase 2. Same idea. Here's the budget. Here's the second piece of Mike's plan. And we're trying to make it to this amount at the poll. That happens. And by that time, I was all in. It was like, okay, the Lord has changed my heart. God is in this thing. No matter what the outcome is, God's in it. And now I need to come in behind my husband 100% and start praying for him, for Dan, the campaign team, and I'm going to be praying for favor, for strength. And that's kind of how I, it took a while because I'm a little difficult, but it took a while to get me there.
Mike, how long before Hawaii had you carried this and before you broke the news to your wife? Because I know that could be a big deal. It was for us, but how long had you carried this vision of running?
Well, we might end up talking about the car accident, but I, as Noel said, had a heart for public service and figuring some things out that I could fix Jake. And I was in the Senate, had the car accident, really questioned whether I should stay in the Senate. Noel.
I want you to say what you said today at the brunch, because that was beautiful, what you told him when he asked you if he should stay in the Senate after the car accident.
The car wreck. Okay, so, and I'm just kind of going into the car wreck, but we knew that his injury was going to take years, that these nerves needed to rebuild themselves or regenerate.
Because for those who don't know, he had a massive neurological...
Right. He had chronic nerve pain in an area of his back that was about this big. And we needed to find a doctor that knew how to regenerate nerves, which we did. But that doctor told us, with these procedures, there's going to be about 4 procedures per year. They're very painful, but it would take that nerve damage and it would just kind of shrink it. So that spear of a grapefruit shrunk to a grape, to a plum size, and then to a quarter, and then it went away. But in that, during that time, Mike said to me, should I resign my position at the Senate? And I said, absolutely not. You may not have your body, but you've got your big, beautiful brain. And you've got to use that big, beautiful brain to distract yourself while your body heals. And that was...
And so we did persevere through that, and the Lord helped us with some big, accomplishments that helped a lot of people. And obviously that came with friends and colleagues in the Senate and the House. But after I was done being senator for 12 years, I still wasn't quite well yet. I was in the process of these long, difficult procedures. Right. So I really thought I was done.
Did the wreck happen in your last term?
No, it happened it happened during my second term.
Second term, okay. Yeah. So you ran for re-election with the injury, got re-elected?
For the third term.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when she said, no, you got to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I really thought I was done. Now I was starting to get a little bit better as I was going through all these procedures, and I had started the long, arduous process, which ended up being about 5 years worth of physical therapy.
Physical therapy.
To get all my abilities back to sit, stand, and walk. And then Kevin Stitt asked me to be his first Secretary of Budget. And next thing you know, I'm back in the money and finance arena, Jake. Yeah. And we did some good things there too, and persevered through some projects that were pretty important during COVID, obviously. And then, of course, I thought I was done with public service. I was, about that point, I was getting closer and closer to being fully restored. And then I just went back to running my business and helping the kids get through college. About a year or two after that, though, things started gnawing at me. As you know, and one of the reasons you ran, I know, was we would see these Republican supermajorities at the Capitol, but conservative solutions weren't getting launched.
Yeah.
And, 49th in education, right, and a tax code that was causing us to lose jobs and headquarters to other states. And then, of course, this terrible marijuana mess and Chinese foreign ownership of land. And I'd start thinking, well, I know how to fix this, and I think I can figure out a plan for that. And so somewhere about 2023, as I was kind of assessing things, what's going to happen after the Stitt administration, that's where it started kind of turning over and over and over. And then by 2024, I was thinking, I maybe not need to do this. I picked really bad timing to tell Noel.
On your romantic beach vacation.
Yeah, I know.
But I had kept involved in a little private public policy organization that just forced me to dive into, well, how would we fix that, or how would we fix that? And nobody was letting conservatives fix stuff. So, yeah, by 2024, I felt like in my spirit and in my mind, it was something I needed to do. And to Noel's credit, it was important to pass specific milestones. Lord, we'll do this, and if we reach this point, we'll keep going. And here we are.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I want to point out, I just want to commend you for, if nobody's ever been through what you've been through, or been through
You have too.
a serious life-altering thing where it affects not just your life and the way you do life, but your pain levels now and how you function. And are you still going to be nice to your kids when you're suffering? Because how old were your kids at this time?
Well, my youngest, when I first got hurt, unfortunately was 5. And so he got to see me for a little while as a healthy dad, but that whole 5 through 15 era, it was really tough on him and tough on the family, because I couldn't go to any normal dad and son, athletic events, and Noel carried a large load by herself.
Well, and just your story. We can talk about our story and what the Lord has brought us through and how it shaped us, and how because of what they've gone through, and they've gone through it and they've showed this character.
Right.
That's what you've done. You've gone through some really hard things in life, not just with your wreck, but with your oldest daughter. For those who don't know, their oldest daughter was adopted.
Yes.
And if you want to speak a little bit to that, or we can come back to it.
Okay.
But there's been a lot of life-altering challenges.
Right.
And you guys have stayed steady.
We did.
And I want to, what I started to say is I want to commend you, Mike, because when you could have given up and just stepped outside of the Senate, you stayed. And I know a lot of people criticize you because you missed a lot of votes, and those votes are important as a senator. But me personally, to have a voice up there still representing truth and righteousness, and you showed up.
Yeah, I did.
In the middle of pain, in the middle of life-altering things, in the middle of having a small family, you still showed up. And that says a lot to your character and to your willingness to not quit when the going gets really tough.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Lord was very gracious. I never quite understood, Nicole, why I wasn't getting well. Jake, I may have shared this with you before, but I think I made the mistake of asking the Lord to make me humble, and He gave me 10 years to learn how to be humble.
Be careful what you pray for.
Yes,
huh?
that's true.
But that gives you empathy in places that it wouldn't have otherwise. And people who haven't gone through what you've gone through won't have the same empathy for the people that you will now get to help in Oklahoma.
Very true.
Yeah.
You mentioned the adoption, and of course we are adoptive parents, and so I want to dive into that. But before we kind of shift away from this accident topic, pain meds. Obviously, you came out recently with your drug
grief.
test, and I'd like to just put that to rest, because I know a while back I had a chance to ask you directly, and I did. I said, Mike, are you on any pain meds actively? And well, I'll just let you answer yourself. Are you on any pain meds actively?
I am not on any pain meds. My doctor checked me so I could prove to everybody that I have no pain medication in my system. What I learned pretty early on after the accident was the pain medication that the doctors had me on to deal with the injury, it just made me sick, and I couldn't think straight. And we just decided, well, my brain works when I'm not on pain meds. This is back in 2008. We just decided, no, can't get through that with this. So instead of pain medication, as you've heard some of the stories, I became horizontal Mike. I had a training table in my Senate office. I had a training table in my business office to meet with constituents, work on my business with my clients, the doctors told me for nerve damage to heal, you have to stay out of pain. You can't keep, firing them and firing them. And that wasn't all of the answer, but to stay out of pain, I had to just stay horizontal.
And it's not masking the pain, right? I mean, that's a lot of what pain meds do is mask
Right.
it.
Yes.
Even something like Advil would mask
and
it.
we were like, we're not doing this.
Absolutely.
We are absolutely not doing this. And so the majority of this recovery he did without pain meds. And now maybe the first, I don't know.
Well, the first few months after the injury and getting through some of the procedures, there was some pain medication, prescribed by the doctors. But like I said, after a few months, we just decided, okay, we don't know what the answers for this journey or these catastrophic nerve damage is going to be, but I can't be on pain meds.
Yeah.
If I'm not on pain meds, I can be a good financial planner, a good state senator. I can help my kids with my homework.
Right.
And so, that hasn't been a part of my life at all.
And just to be clear, I mean, there's also no meth or Mary Jane or cocaine, right? So I'm just, we cover all the bases here. So,
Well, what would you say to people that would, because I read Facebook and people
It's
are
pretty
cruel.
bizarre.
They're just cruel.
Yeah, I try not to.
Don't do it. I didn't with Jake's stuff, but I read and honestly, because I even read stuff for Drummond and for Biden and those, because I care about humans.
Right.
And so I'm praying for, their salvation and whatever. And so when people would say things like, well, he acts like he's drunk or he acts like he's on drugs and look at his mannerisms, what would you say to that?
Well, I am a financial nerd. I that's obvious. And what financial nerds do you know that aren't a little quirky? And so I do have this tendency to, think before I answer. So sometimes I talk slow because I'm trying to think about the answer and process all this math or whatever in my head.
It's called being really smart, which is very rare.
Maybe I try not to say ums, and so I'm just me.
Well, I said this to Jake after the first time we sat down outside of Campaign World, and I said they don't see his heart clearly because they're too busy judging what they think about him instead of what they know about him.
Have you ever looked at the pictures of Abraham Lincoln? I mean, the original pictures of Abraham Lincoln.
I don't guess I have.
Oh my gosh, go on Netflix and look at they'll show the actual pictures of Abraham Lincoln. And sometimes I think, this looks like Michael.
You know what we don't have from Abraham Lincoln are audio recordings.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be so
video,
amazing?
right. And I think about that with the early founding fathers. We have no clue what they sounded like, how they presented.
Right. Mannerisms.
Because honestly, that's only a fraction of the job.
Right.
The actual job is behind the scenes, is what you're doing in the office with the legislature, all these kinds of things. And so we've made this into a celebrity thing. And I get tired of that. It's really about so much more than that.
We have
about substance.
lost sight of the issues that are affecting Oklahoma by making this a big deal.
Yeah.
And it irritates me.
Yeah. For the right reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the adoption, this is something that you don't, it's something you willingly take on.
Yes.
It's something you choose. And obviously to our daughter that we adopted, we've stressed that. It's like, we chose you. Yeah. We wanted you in our family. Yeah. But it's also, it's a very big task that you willingly take on for the good of a child, a life.
Right.
But walk us through that, the choice to adopt, where you went to adopt, the aftermath of that.
Okay. So early on, again, while we're dating, we are discovering things that we mutually agree upon. And one of those things was adoption. Mostly because my best friend in Minnesota was adopted, and I loved my best friend. And most of my cousins on the other side were adopted, and he had cousins that were adopted. So we decided that, yes, that's something that we want to do. We actually thought, though, that I would have biological children and that we would adopt on the end. But that's not what happened. That wasn't God's plan for us. We had a lot of challenges, health challenges, trying to get pregnant. And Mike said to me, you know what? Let's put adoption up front. Let's go for it. Let's adopt a child and let that be our first child. And that's kind of how we came to that decision.
We had some friends that were serving as medical missionaries in Russia right after the fall of the Soviet Union, and things were open for a while, and they were helping families back in America through the adoption process with an orphanage they got involved with while they were overseas. And they knew Noel because she taught their kids at school.
Yeah.
And so they started, this was like the first era of email.
Yes, that is true.
They started emailing back and forth about how to do it and plans. And we chose a child from what they told us and some pictures at 10 months. And then at 18 months, we went over to Russia for 3 weeks to go through the process. Now, it was January.
It was an
and
experience.
it was southern Siberia.
Yes.
It was 20 to 30 below every day. But even that was a fun
It was.
Were you prepared for that?
adventure.
Did you? I mean,
Oh, I'm a
She
Minnesota
got
girl.
us
She
well
was prepared.
prepared.
So we traveled with 10 couples all together, which was a blast, because we're all going down to Russia to Russia Far East.
were they all going to adopt?
We were all going
Really?
to
Wow.
adopt. And it was probably one of the first groups that would adopt out of Russia in 1997. 1997. And so anyway, they said, well, it's Russia Far East. So I told Mike, we are going home to Minnesota and we're buying boots that go to 80 below zero. And we're buying parkas and we're buying mittens. And I remember.
I looked a little poofy.
Yes.
But you were alive.
But I was warm.
I remember that the group of women laughed at me because these boots that go to 80 degrees below zero, they're gigantic. I mean, they're like, and we get to Russia and they're wearing these little boots. And I cannot tell you how many women were like, are you going out? If you're not going out, can I borrow your boots?
Right.
But wonderful adventure. We
Yes.
selected Maria.
Yeah.
As you said, we chose her.
Yeah.
We did.
And
We
we've
chose her.
reminded her about that, all of her life, and brought her back to America. And then, she had some health issues herself, growing up in an orphanage for 18 months.
Just impacts of trauma.
Yes.
Trauma,
impacts of trauma.
and other medical diagnoses that required us to learn a lot to be good parents.
Yeah.
And as you all know,
Right.
there's just some unique challenges
There are.
and a lot we had to learn to help her build a fruitful life.
Yeah.
Today, we're so proud of her. She loves Jesus. She's got a job. She likes her job most days.
Well, that's all of us, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And she comes to see us once a week on Saturdays, and she's just a treasure.
Man.
But there were some hard times for her.
Yeah.
Like there are for all kids, particularly, those teenage, early adult years.
Yeah.
But
Well, we've talked a little more in private setting, and we've been able to share some more intimate details about our children. And our daughters have similar things that they're walking through in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring this up just because I know what our journey's been like. So to know that you were a senator and you had 5 children, all very young, and then you had a daughter you were raising that brought a lot of extra support.
Yeah.
She needed a lot of extra support. That's a full-time job in itself. When you are raising a child with what our daughters have gone through, that is a full-time job. I mean, when we first got our daughter out of foster care, I had to quit my job. And
I did too.
she could not be out of my care for 24/7. And it was like that for 5 years. And still to this day, she is 17. There is only a few people that she can even stay with.
Right.
And so, I say all this because I want people to really understand the heart of who you guys are, because taking on a leadership role like governor and the pressure that puts on you as an individual, as a couple, just the challenges, but also the spiritual demonic things that come against you. You guys have walked some really hard things in life, and you've overcome.
Yes.
And you've been victorious, and you have great success stories. And that is encouraging to me to have leaders that I can look to and say, they've been through the fire and they've come out on the other side, and you don't even know they've been through it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
What a kind thing to say.
Well, the Lord truly does grant us grace and strength and wisdom when we seek Him first every day.
Right.
And He surrounds us with people and family that help us get through those seasons. We certainly never could have made it without the Lord and His provisions, particularly when there's times where you go, Lord, the Bible says you'd never let me go through anything I can't handle. This feels like something I can't handle.
Yeah.
And then you read, take up your cross, deny yourself, follow me. And Paul says, in my weakness, do I become strong through Christ. And that's obviously what carried us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say this here. I'm kind of taking over the interview here.
Go for it.
People have asked us, why are you supporting the Mazzeis? Do you align politically? There's going to be things we don't align with.
Right.
There's things in a marriage that Jake and I disagree on.
Right.
And we have to learn how
I always agree with Noel.
That's a smart man. And you learn how to work together and work through it. I mean, I'm sure raising children, I know for Jake and I, especially with our oldest, he's wanted to go one way. I'm like, I think we need to go this way. And when you don't know, it can be a lot, but
It is a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. But to say that, we are not going to align in everything.
Correct.
But that's just humans. I mean, I love my mom to death, but I don't align with everything that she does and says. And at the heart of it, what are you founded in? What is your heart? And that's what I want the people to see in this interview, is that, we may not, there's going to be things that you're doing right now that you're for that I'm not for. And we can sit and we can argue that point. But at the end of the day, I want to see your heart. And I want to see that you really care for the people of Oklahoma and really have a kingdom mindset at the forefront. And 100% you do. And that's why I'm supporting you guys, is because I've seen your heart. Whether I agree with all your policy, I've seen your heart, and I know you're going to do what you feel like is right for the people of Oklahoma at the end of the day.
I feel like that is very much Mike's heart. We love the people of Oklahoma. Otherwise, we wouldn't have prayed across the state of Oklahoma like you guys did. Now, Jake, we traveled in an F-250. We didn't run it.
Smart.
But Mike is a servant.
Yeah.
He wants to serve the people of Oklahoma. And we love the Lord. We understand that Jesus' purpose here on earth, he came to earth to serve us. That's why he washed the disciples' feet. That is what I see in my husband. He wants to serve the people of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I would agree Jake's that way too.
To get to the heart of who you are and what's real and everything, I want to hear what is Mike's greatest strength and what is his greatest weakness?
Oh, we don't need to talk about the weaknesses, just the strength. No, I'm teasing.
I like to say that our greatest strength is also our greatest weakness.
Bingo.
Sometimes.
You like to say that too?
Yes.
See, we are soul sisters. But anyway, Mike he's brilliant. But sometimes I've had to kind of tell him, he'll say to me, well, Noel, I'll be explaining something and he'll be like, well, Noel, technically. And I'm like, remember that big hole in the backyard? No, not really. But I think sometimes, I have to tell him, okay, please, take it down a level so that,
Rephrase.
rephrase.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But he is He's a brilliant man. He really is.
What do you believe he brings to the governor's office that the voters, they may not recognize with his speeches, his advertisements, public appearances and things, but what do you know that he could bring to the office?
He is a master with policy. If you've ever seen him, and you have seen him in a forum, or if you've ever seen people ask him, well, what about this? And he's like, well, I think there's a bill in the House right now, and it's whatever, House Bill 218, and he'll go through that. He knows policy. He knows policy from past years. He knows present policy. And he even kind of knows the policy that's being written for the future. Also, he brings great experience with our governmental agencies, because when he was with Governor Stitt, he worked with those governmental agencies. And he's going to require them to be accountable, which you guys have talked about this too. We want to see abuse and fraud and neglect uncovered. We want our governmental agencies to be stellar.
What do you want people to know about you beyond the policy talk, beyond the typical political questions, speaking just frankly to the people? What is it you want to bring to the state and to this role as governor?
Well, I really like pancakes. But
we talking a governor's pancake breakfast? Because I'm there.
right. Let's have some policy conversations over pancakes.
Heck yeah.
What really matters to me is improving the lives, Jake, of everyday Oklahomans. Yeah. You know, you've been a stalwart in terms of we can't have people at the Capitol that are representing lobbyists, special interests, the political class, you know, the donor class. Now, you know, donors are important, and there are some good lobbyists that try to do their job, you know, professionally. But a lot of the problems that happen in state government is the focus drifts away from what is best for everyday Oklahomans.
Yeah.
What is best for the taxpayer money? You know, what are the real solutions that are going to make the schools better? So thousands and thousands of more kids are reading at grade level.
Yeah.
You know, what are the solutions that are going to drive this Chinese money and, you know, the Mexican cartels out of the state of Oklahoma so people feel safer, you know, in their communities? And that's really what drives me. I'm just, by my profession, I'm just kind of naturally driven towards assess the issues and the goals of where you want to get to, and then build a blueprint that will address the issues and help you get to where you want to get to, and then have a progress process so you can assess, well, what's working and what's not working. Mm-hmm. And we can do that in state government if we have a true, for example, Office of State Finance and Responsibility. And we can do that with education reform that's been successful in other states. So the reason I'm in this is to make the lives of everyday Oklahomans, for them, our kids and our grandkids, better. And as a part of the journey, testify to the goodness of our, you know, Lord and Savior who loves people and wants everyone to know that God has created them for a unique and special purpose right here in the state of Oklahoma, because we've just got something, you know, really special that we can offer to the entire United States of America.
Wow. What, through this campaign process, what has it taught you about each other, and how has it changed you?
Do you want to start?
No, you start.
I am just so proud of my husband, no matter what the outcome is. Just like he didn't quit during his recovery with his back injury. He didn't quit the state senate, he didn't quit his job, and he didn't quit with our children and with me, our marriage. He has not he has done everything that he has known to do to be successful in this campaign. Now, whether we win or not, I'm just so proud of him.
I've always known, Jake, that Noel was a strong and courageous person. And of course, courage isn't not feeling fear. Courage is accepting the fear and moving forward. She grew up on a farm. She worked so hard by the time she got to college, out in the fields, helping with the livestock. At ORU, she was a great student, worked really hard. And then, of course, I saw her, be a great mom, teach our kids work ethic. And, like you all, there were some pretty scary things to deal with during that journey. Yeah. And I knew it was a lot to kind of put on her to say, I think I need to run for governor. But what's amazing about Noel is, first and foremost, she wants the Holy Spirit to guide our lives, and she wants our kids to see their parents following Jesus through the easy stuff and the hard stuff. And even though she wanted to bury me in the backyard,
that's a joke.
She put all this
restraint. She didn't do it.
She put all this before the Lord, and I tried to, answer all her very, very understandable questions. And then she took on the mantle of courage, but then she, as you mentioned, Nicole, took on the mantle of prayer. Yeah. Okay, I've got enough courage to do this, and now I'm going to pray. She won't let me leave the house in the morning without praying for me.
Got to put on the armor first.
And, and that's just been, beautiful to behold. And it's,
I love the fact that the hardest part for her is manicures, and the fact that she can't get her fingernails dirty restoring furniture in her garage.
She was a little frustrated the other day when is this going to be over so I can get back to my furniture? I was like, well, why can't you do your furniture, honey? She said, well, look at my nails. And I was like, what?
Okay, so he needs to invent some gloves for our future first lady so she can continue her furniture business.
I know to use gloves, but growing up on a farm, you don't use gloves.
Right.
You just get in there and you do it.
Right.
And I forget to put on my gloves.
So this is the hobby of yours, is restoring furniture?
It is.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually one of my oldest daughter's projects. So she's got to connect with you so she can teach her some tips.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
Yeah, we got to do that.
She knows how to find the antiques that nobody realizes it's an antique, and then turn it into something special.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, I
3 or 4
probably,
years now.
yes. And it started with, I found a piece, and it just was a straight flip. I found a piece, and I know nice furniture because, of course, my mother did it because they had nothing. And so they found nice furniture. My mom would refinish furniture, and then they became very nice pieces, and antiques are back. People like antiques. So anyway, it was a straight flip. I found this really pretty Drexel nightstands, and I flipped them. I bought them for a certain amount of money, and I think it was like $20. And I flipped them for, I don't know, $220. And I went to Mike and I said, what am I doing? What is this called, in business? And he said, it's called
arbitrage.
Yes. And I'm like, I like arbitrage. And then I said, what's my return on investment? Because he's a financial planner. So I just got hooked. Yeah. I became addicted, and I tried to get my sister-in-law addicted as well. And she came along with me, and
I love it.
We just had fun.
You guys can find out more at noelsarbitragefurniture.com.
That's a good name, by the way.
And if you ever see our first lady without her nails done, you'll know she's been doing her furniture.
She's back at it. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Regardless of what happens with the campaign, win or lose,
Right.
how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody who loved Oklahoma. And just like you, loved it enough to pray for it and understood that just like you, we understood that there were people in the Merritt camp that were praying. We understood there were people in the McCall camp that were praying, in the Keating camp that were praying, and in the Drummond camp that were praying. We understood that, and we are so pleased to join with all of those people who loved Oklahoma enough to pray for it.
I enjoy and will think fondly, no matter what, of being able to share with people concrete, true conservative solutions with concrete action steps that really can take away the fear that our seniors feel because of this burden of property taxes. That there is a financial responsible way to get rid of property taxes for our seniors who, as you know, they're scared to death that they're going to lose their homes. And there is a plan that's happening in other states that we can get kids reading at grade level. It's not complicated. We know how it works there. And so I just have always hoped, Jake, that people would feel a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of inspiration that, yes, we can do this. We can fix some of these things. We can make life better for people. And that along the way, we testified to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Jesus, so people would know that, they're loved, they're cared for, and whatever they're going through in life, we get it, and we just hope that they would feel a little sense of, if we persevere, God's got a good plan for us.
Amen.
My goal coming into this interview was for the people of Oklahoma to see your hearts. And I think that was accomplished today.
The runoff just a few days away,
Right.
August 25th, and just blessings and best of luck to both of you guys. And we pray the most success to you and your family. But any final words from you guys that you want to speak to the people?
Well, I think I would like to speak to you first, the two of you. Thank you so much for coming alongside of us. And then, of course, to the people, we love and adore you, and we would love to serve you.
Jake and Nicole Merrick are tremendous people and a great example of conservative leaders who passionately love people and want to serve others. And we're blessed to have you in our lives. And we're looking forward to a long friendship and just so appreciate the chance to say hi to everybody, and sure would appreciate your support on Tuesday, August 25th.
Yes.
August 25th, mark it down, guys. It is all of our responsibility to show up. Let your voice be heard. It's I believe, a God-assigned responsibility in this republic to do just that. And so you must take it serious. We need a great voter turnout, not just in this election, but in every election. So mark it on your calendar and remind your friends and family to do the same. And of course, if you want to find out more, remind me of your website, Mike.
MikeForOK.com.
MikeForOK.com. Beautiful wife, Noel. So appreciate you guys. God bless you.
Thank you.